Breaking news on Martyn Lucas Investor. We are creating a video within a live stream. I've decided to make this a video for you guys because I think it's important if you didn't catch it live. We're looking at XRP, the big beautiful bill, possibly fueling XRP to new all-time highs. Bitcoin bull flag is triggering 150,000. So on with the clip taken from the live video. I hope you enjoy. This is all the information. It's from our newsletter. First link in the description. And now on with the video. Okay, now everyone's here. Now everyone's hit the like button. If you haven't, I'm not happy with you. There we go. I'm going to give you all the news and you haven't even hit the like button. It's free. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. And let me tell you what I'm looking at. So Bitcoin hits record weekly close. XRP awaits SEC decision. Bitcoin's high. Remember, it's not the XRP show. XRP is my favorite token, but we have to look at the broader markets as well. We can't. XRP is not in its own little bubble where it doesn't get affected by anything else. Global markets affect Bitcoin, Bitcoin dominance, Bitcoin ETFs affect the altcoins. Therefore, it affects Ethereum, XRP. So it's a whole system. It's not, you can't really isolate XRP, and that's why I'm giving you the Bitcoin news here as well. So Bitcoin closed the week above $109,000, its highest weekly candle ever. And I'll tell you why that's important. Let me even bring up the chart for you right now. Let's use this chart here. And we go into the weekly candles. Weekly candles are a good view of the long term. Yesterday, at about 1 a.m. UK time, I think, is that what it is? Something like that. Yeah, 1 a.m. UK time, midnight on UTC. That's the time zone that traders use. The weekly candle close of Bitcoin was around $109,200 dollars. That is the highest. That's the highest daily candle close of Bitcoin in its entire history. What's even more bullish is you saw that weekly candle close came up to 106,000, tested it as support, confirmed that it was support, and now you've bounced up. So it does open the door. It's another bullish indicator that we are on the way to new all-time highs for Bitcoin. But not only that, not only was it the highest weekly candle close, which is one tick, doesn't always mean something by itself, but it certainly is a bullish indicator traders look at. So that's one tick. You have to look at these. You can't just isolate one bullish indication. You have to put them together. So highest weekly ever candle close, weekly candles, long-term view, medium-term view. It's a good bullish indication. And then the other bullish indication was that wick came all the way down to 106,000, which was previously resistance, flipped into support. And that's another bullish sign that the bulls held the level that was contested, 106,000. So another bullish indication. Another bullish indication is I don't believe we have any bearish divergence right now. We haven't made a higher high, and the RSI hasn't made a lower low, so we are in the clear right now with bearish divergence. The last bit of divergence you can see is lower highs on the chart and lower lows on the RSI, so no bearish divergence. Technical analysis. That's me saying this. Technical analysis now points to a breakout target of 150,000 if Bitcoin clears the 110,000 zone with volume. The macro backdrop, including physical stimulus from the big beautiful bill, is seen as supportive. All eyes now on volatility as traders brace for the next leg. Remember, I'm looking at Bitcoin to paint the picture of XRP next. So let me just, I'm not sure, my mouth's a bit dry. Anyway, so yeah, so why am I saying 150,000 targets on Bitcoin? Because that is what we need to happen. I've always said Bitcoin needs to go on its next big run so that liquidity flows into XRP. And where is the liquidity coming from? Well, this big beautiful bill is printing trillions of dollars. So that's where the liquidity is going to come from. So what we've got going on here is this downtrend and then this uptrend. This uptrend is quite a significant uptrend all the way from 75,000. Remember that retest of 75,000 was very key because of the previous all-time high. It was what we were expecting, that pullback. And then we bounced from that level all the way to new all-time highs of 112,000. That's a significant uptrend. Then we started consolidating down and sideways in a parallel channel, and you can see that parallel channel here. So what do you have going on? Well, you've got a very clear bull flag. We have very recently broken out this bull flag, and the measured move of this bull flag is from the lows down here, 75,000, to the highs down there, up there. You can see the bull flag. You just basically copy and paste that line all the way from down there to up here, from the breakout point, which happened a couple of days ago, which was confirmed recently with the weekly candle, the highest weekly candle close. And what you've got here is a target of basically $145,000. It's basically $150,000. That would be the psychological level for this bull flag. There is a bull flag target without any bearish divergence on Bitcoin for 150,000. Yes, there's some targets before. You've got basically this upwards trending target, which will now probably be around the 115,000 range. That's your first target. Then you've got the Fibonacci target, the 1618. So you've got this target from this low to this high. Potentially moving you to 130,000, and then your big bull flag target of 150,000. So this is incredibly bullish. You've got 3 upside targets, and before anyone starts thinking I'm giving any sort of advice or I know what's going to happen, this is not financial advice. This is my thoughts, my opinions. Please do not copy my trades. Please do not take anything I'm saying as I know the future. No one knows the future. I'm just trying to get an edge here using the charts, but this isn't financial advice. It's my thoughts, my opinions for entertainment purposes only. So please do not buy or sell based on anything I'm saying. What you've got going on here is 3 targets to the upside. The support around that bull flag around 106,000 once again. Highest weekly candle close, 3 big targets. What that results in is maybe a final push on Bitcoin dominance. Yes, Bitcoin dominance has hit one of our targets, so we can see the altcoins run for a short while, maybe while altcoins are running, we might see a break of $2.30 for XRP, but then we might go on a final push on Bitcoin dominance, potentially to 66%. And the highest target for Bitcoin dominance I have is 71%. If we go for a big Bitcoin push, altcoins struggle to keep up, we might go to 66%, and the final target of 71% for Bitcoin dominance. The higher Bitcoin dominance goes, remember, Bitcoin dominance means how much of the money is in Bitcoin. How much of the money is in Bitcoin, how much of the cryptocurrency market is in Bitcoin. The higher that goes, the more it can fall. And once Bitcoin dominance starts falling, it basically means altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin, more money's flowing into altcoins, and that's when we get an altcoin season. Remember, last time we hit one of our major targets of 60% was back in November of 2024. That gave me the green light to buy altcoins like crazy. XRP then went from 50 cents to $3. Altcoins went on their massive gains, and ever since we've seen a big Bitcoin push, altcoins getting crushed. Bitcoin is still looking strong. Maybe it's hit its next target. Maybe we'll see altcoins rally for a little while. That's what we've been seeing today. Altcoins up, Bitcoin down. But the next leg might be a short-term altcoin season, not a proper altcoin season. If Bitcoin starts pushing to its next levels, 115,000, 130,000, 150,000, you can see potentially Bitcoin dominance go on its final push up. Once it hits those targets, 150,000, you can see altcoins outperform. Bitcoin can still go up to its main targets of this bull run, maybe around 200,000, but it will just be underperforming the altcoins, and that's when we might see the big altcoin season where the good ETF news comes out for the altcoins. Remember, lots of altcoins now have ETF decisions, and we can possibly see XRP hit $10, $11, $12, and other altcoins go up hundreds of percent. So that's the narrative for the bull case of this bull market, and that's what we're looking at, and that's why it's bullish that we have these big targets for Bitcoin, and that's how you can potentially see it play out, especially with these bullish targets on Bitcoin now forming. But how does that relate to XRP? Well, XRP right now is, thank you for subscribing, Greg Headley. If anyone else wants to subscribe, please do hit the subscribe button. Also, please do hit the like button if you have just tuned in. So XRP legal resolution looms. Remember, we've got this annoying case that just won't end. Everyone's getting frustrated. Everyone's getting annoyed. But in theory, I'm not too annoyed or frustrated. Yes, I hate the case going on. Yes, we've been through it all. I mean, look at this terrible action. 2021 bull cycle was ruined. The bear market was brutal. Amazing news came out, and we went all the way back lower. And right now, I was more frustrated there than I am today here because from the levels we've been buying. We're up about 400% still. So again, I don't know where you guys have bought. Maybe you bought at the top, maybe you bought lower than me. I don't know. However, this structure here, you just need to zoom out and remember how high you are. To me, this just all looks like accumulation. It looks like a parabolic move up. The crash that we predicted, the 50% crash that we corrected, happened. We hit our targets of $2, then $1.71, the capitulation low, and it looks like $2 is holding strong. So unless we get some really bad news or Bitcoin starts dumping, the S&P 500 starts collapsing, I do see XRP holding $2. And right now, in the shorter view, we've got XRP coming up against $2.30. Basically a critical level of resistance. But just before we get into the shorter time frame and talk about $2.30, what you can see going on here, to me, is just consolidation, accumulation, and holding $2 to me is very bullish. Some people might be very bored about the price action. I'm not. I think it's showing strength. I'm getting excited. I think it's getting coiled up once again for the next move. Why am I saying that? Because when you look at other altcoins, you see them down a lot from their previous peaks. You just click on other altcoins and you can see how far they've come down. Some of them are making new all-time lows. Some of them are down. You look at Gala, for example, here, from those peaks in 2024. I'm not talking about 2021 peaks. I'm talking about the peaks that we had in 2024, the end of 2024, January of 2025. Gala is down 82%. Something like EGLD, some of just these legacy altcoins from previous cycles down 77%. You've got Polkadot also probably down in the same similar ranges, down 70% currently. Some of these altcoins are making new all-time lows. To me, it's showing strength in XRP that we aren't just collapsing. We're not making new lows. We're nowhere near the lows of where we were before the pump. We're holding $2. We're not creating new lows even within this structure. We are down from those massive heights only 30% right now. To me, that shows strength. That shows someone's buying, whether it's retail or institutions, probably a mix of both. That's showing strength to me. I'm not pissed off. I'm not annoyed. I'm not selling my bags. I'm doing what's right for me. I don't know what's right for you. I'm not putting in more than I can afford to lose, but I'm also excited for the upside. I'm ready for all situations. As I said, with all my investments, I'm ready for them to go up. I'm ready for XRP to go to $5, $10, $15, $20, $50, $100. I'm also ready for XRP to go down to $2, $1.70, $1.50, $1.50. If you're prepared for all situations, you will sleep better at night. You'll become a better investor. So even though I'm very bullish right now, or fairly bullish right now, I don't disregard the downside risk either. So when you zoom into XRP, now we're looking at $2.30. Remember, a few times you had this downwards trend, then you look to $2.30, then it's $2.62 as its resistance. Then when it breaks $2.30, you look to trend down to $2, which we did once again, and now we're back in an uptrend, trending towards $2.30. We've now hit $2.30 quite a few times, so I do think one more catalyst, which can be that SEC dropping their appeal this time in the next few days. I'll give you the date in a second. That can lead to us breaking $2.30. And when we break $2.30, just like we've seen before, if we break $2.30 and $2.33, just like we saw over here, I think we'll get that big push to the 786 from the all-time high, which is around $2.62. That will then give us a decision. Do we break $2.62 and move closer to $3, $3.50 all-time highs, or do we come down to resistance? I'm not worried about that yet. What I'm focusing on right now is $2.30 and the target of $2.62. I have some open leverage trades from $2. I'll potentially close those leverage trades at $2.62 for a nice profit and just keep my spot bag because I do think XRP is going to make new all-time highs this cycle. So that SEC news can push, because we're at such a key resistance at $2.30, SEC dropping the appeal, the end of the case. No one can ever come back for it. XRP is not a security, something that no other cryptocurrency has the legal ruling of. I think that can push it above that $2.30 mark. And then get it to $2.62. What will happen after that is possibly ETF news that pushes it to all-time highs. But right now we're focusing on what can happen this week, which is this XRP legal resolution. So XRP is hovering near $2.30, a key level of resistance. Expectations are that if this level breaks, a surge to $2.62 is next. Ripple has dropped its cross appeal, and speculation is rising that the SEC will formally withdraw its own appeal after the agency's closed door meeting on July the 10th. We will see. We don't know. Closed door meeting, July the 10th. We have been saying that they're very likely to drop their appeal, or their appeal, and even Ripple have said that we're expecting SEC to drop it. I don't think the SEC won't drop it. It's just a matter of time, when, not if. And that when could be July the 10th. So be prepared. It could be this week. It could be in the next 3 days. So get ready for that. July the 10th could be the catalyst that pushes XRP to $2.30. Again, I don't know the news. If I knew for certain, I'll be positioning my portfolio perfectly for this. I'll be opening a long position on July this. I don't know. This is all speculation, dubious speculation. So don't take it as a matter of fact. But July the 10th seems like a date that could be plausible for them to come out of that meeting and announce that they're dropping the appeal. So while that's going on, Grayscale's ETF now includes XRP. We covered that last week, fueling optimism for a dedicated spot product. We've got so many ETFs now that are lined up. And remember, there is a 245-day window from the time that the SEC accept the application. Accepting the application is not approving it. Accepting the application to when they have to give a decision whether they decline or accept. And throughout that 245 days, there's little deadlines that come up, and it's just basically the SEC keeps extending it. Even with this new SEC, nothing's really changed. All they do is extend it. But those 245-day deadlines are important because they have to make a decision, and I think the decision they're going to make is approving them, along with Bloomberg analysts that are now giving a 95% chance. They keep increasing it. They can't really move it to 100%. They're at the highest it can be, 95% chance that we will have an XRP ETF this year, along with ETFs for Solana. I think Litecoin was up there as well. So we've got altcoin ETFs coming out, and that deadline's starting, I think, in October. So in a few months' time, we will basically, in my opinion, have an XRP ETF in a few months' time. So we will have, I think, this catalyst of the SEC dropping the appeal will allow XRP to surge past $2.30. Then we'll hit $2.62, possible resistance. We might hit possible resistance at $2.62, and then the speculation of this XRP ETF, just like we saw the speculation of the Bitcoin ETF, people will start buying the news. Buying the rumor. They'll start buying the rumor, possibly pushing it up to all-time highs, $3, $3.50. The news comes out of the SEC approving an XRP ETF, they'll sell the news, and then once the inflow is coming in, and we get everyone FOMOing into altcoins, and then we'll get that altcoin season once Bitcoin's hit 150,000 and beyond, then that's when we start seeing all these targets, potentially $4, $5, $6, $7, $8, $11, all these levels that I'm going to be laddering out, potentially hit within a matter of weeks. Remember, when altcoin season starts moving, it moves fast. If you want to take profits, you have to have your plan in place today, not tomorrow. Plan in place today. I've had my plan in place for over a year now. So that will happen fast. But that's my thoughts on the bullish side of things. Of course, things can go wrong. I'm just speculating at this time. And Ethereum and altcoins. Heavy ETF inflows signals Altcoin Summer. So Ethereum led inflows with 1.17 billion into spot ETH ETFs in June, its strongest month yet, with institutional momentum expected to reach 10 billion by end 2025. Stablecoin activity and tokenization trends bolster ETH's utility, while inflows into altcoin ETFs, Solana, Cardano, etc. hint at a broader summer rally. So, market themes to watch: institutional rotation, Bitcoin ETF flows slowed to start July, while ETH and altcoin ETFs are accelerating. Flows suggest a growing appetite for diversification and risk exposure beyond Bitcoin. Macro liquidity tailwinds. The big beautiful bill is seen as injecting physical stimulus into the system, potentially lifting digital assets into a lower yield, higher liquidity environment. Look, the big beautiful bill. You know my concerns about it. It's not great for the debt structure, but it's probably going to fuel the next run. More money printing, more money in people's hands. They're potentially in people's hands. Depending, again, there's a lot of debate of healthcare and that being removed. People are probably going to be less off if they're in the lower incomes. However, more money in maybe the middle class's hand, I don't know what to call it, they're probably going to start buying stocks, crypto, more liquidity being injected, more money being printed, and that's probably going to fuel this next run. So it is probably bullish for the crypto market. I don't know about the individuals though. Regulatory catalysts: XRP's SEC case resolution and spot ETF decisions for XRP, Solana, and ADA remain top July catalysts. A formal SEC withdrawal on July the 10th could trigger a wave of institutional repositioning. New highs mean nothing without follow through. Bitcoin's weekly close sets stage, but 110,000 is the gate. XRP's path hinges on July the 10th. Clear that, and momentum could shift fast. ETH inflows show where institutions are already leaning. Watch rotations, not headlines. So we've got a lot of news there for you guys on the crypto side. Things are moving. The big beautiful bill can fuel this. So I'm going to actually make this into a video. So thank you everyone for watching. This is my thoughts. Leave your comments down below. There is a video up here for you to watch and a video up here for you to watch. So until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.